Every single month, you look at the number in your bank account after the rent is paid, after the bills are taken, after the groceries are bought, and you feel the same quiet, grinding question. Where did it all go? You tell yourself it's the cost of living. You blame inflation or the landlord or your own inability to budget. But that number, the emptiness left behind, is not just modern math. It is an ancient silence. And the thing you're paying for is not your rent. It never was. Let's look at the invisible transaction. Imagine your great-grandfather 150 years ago standing in a field. He worked from before dawn until the sun disappeared behind the hills. His labor was not abstract. It was meat. It was wood. It was a roof he repaired with his own hands. When he ended the day, he could touch what he had made. The food on the table was food he had grown. The warmth in the cabin was warmth he had chopped. His exhaustion had a face. It had weight. Now, picture your own day. You sit in a chair for 8, maybe 10 hours. You move symbols on a screen. You attend meetings about meetings. You produce nothing you can hold. At the end of the month, an employer moves another set of symbols into your account. This is where the primal mind inside you freezes. Because your brain evolved to track resources by texture, by smell, by effort. It cannot see a digital balance. It only sees the gap between what you gave and what you received. And here is the first paradox. The less tangible the reward, the more the brain interprets the exchange as a loss. A study out of the University of Zurich in 2018 tracked brain activity in people receiving two types of payment. One that was exchanged for a physical good, and one that was deposited as cash. The same monetary value, the same purchasing power. But the scans were different. When people physically received something, an object they could touch, the striatum lit up. That is the reward center, ancient, the same place that fires when you find ripe fruit or a safe cave. When they received the digital payment, the insular cortex activated. That is the region associated with disgust, with suspicion, with a sense of unfairness. You are not bad with money. Your brain is registering the modern transaction as incomplete. This is where the two timelines begin to weave together. Timeline A, the ancestral camp. For 999,000 years of human existence, every single exchange was face-to-face. If a hunter returned with a kill, the tribe saw it, saw the blood, saw the effort, saw the share. The reward was immediate. It was social. It was visible. Your brain was shaped in that world. Every neuron that calculates fairness was built for a village of roughly 150 people, where status was measured in what you contributed with your own body. Timeline B, your life today. You work for an entity you have never met. Your contribution is a tiny fragment of a system you cannot fully see. The reward for that contribution is a number, and that number is then funneled into a series of other numbers: rent, electricity, insurance, each one also invisible, automatic. The entire chain is mute. Now look at what that does to your psychology. Because the brain does not stop feeling the incomplete transaction, it begins to compensate. It creates stress signals. It demands something tangible. So you buy a coffee you didn't need. You buy a shirt you already have. You spend on small, fast, physical things because the striatum needs to fire. It needs to feel the reward that your paycheck never delivered. This is not a lack of discipline. This is an ancient system trying to complete an impossible equation. But the equation has a deeper layer. Let's stay on timeline A for a moment. In the ancestral economy, there was no concept of saving for later, not in the way we understand it. Food rotted, shelters were temporary, resources were shared because hoarding created distrust. The only storage your brain knew was social storage, investing in relationships that would feed you when you failed. The modern concept of accumulating a surplus, money in a bank, assets in a portfolio, is a 30-second historical development. It is not part of your wiring. So what happens when your brain sees that number growing, but you have no immediate social use for it? It registers nothing. No relief, no satisfaction, no end to the scarcity signal. You keep working, and the signal never stops. Because the system you are running on was not designed for stockpiles. It was designed for flows. If you've ever felt that no amount of money is enough, that even when you have enough, you still feel the anxiety of not having enough, you know exactly what this feels like. You know the quiet dread that follows every raise. It is not greed. It is your ancestral brain scanning a world of invisible credit and finding no safety anywhere. Let's take this to the final parallel. Timeline A. A man in a hunter-gatherer group wakes up. He knows without doubt that his survival depends on the people around him. He has no currency, but he has debt. Deep social debt. The woman who shared her water yesterday. The elder who taught him how to track game. The child he must protect today. Every action is an exchange that returns immediately in relationship. Timeline B. You wake up. You owe your landlord, the bank, the utility company, the internet provider, the government. Every single one is a faceless system. You pay them with an invisible number. And the exchange, this modern economy, offers you no relationship in return. You get service, you get access, you get protection from fines. But you do not get belonging. You do not get social capital. You do not get the deep reassurance that your tribe will feed you if you fail. That hole is what your paycheck is really paying for. It is the price of replacing 1,000 small, tangible, social transactions with one abstract, digital, cold one. Every month, the system extracts your labor, and what it gives back is not reward. It is the absence of punishment. It is continued access to the machine. Your brain registers this perfectly. It knows the difference, and it is constantly, quietly screaming for the real thing. But here's what nobody tells you about how to read this map.